Hey there, it's Chris. Welcome back to the Final Fantasy XII Ultima project. For your call from last time, went and finally put on the top form, so Ultima herself, the clay part of this whole model, can now fit on top. We have one big piece going on, and in doing so, we realize now this bottom part feels really, really skinny compared to the rest of the model. So I've now moved her aside, and it's time to bulk up this area a little bit and give it a little bit more mass. However, I think the first way to do that, the main way you can go, is we can take these two guys. I finally went and started actually carving the other side. Is actually get these two guys so they can actually install on here. And in order to do that, the irony of doing our build up and bulk up phase is this line down here, as you can see on the image on the side. We need to carve this out to match the profile of this part here. And then with that, I'll be able to put these in because they actually sit down on top of that line, not on top of here. So I do need to carve that out before I can then pop them on. So I'm going to go ahead pop on one of these masks real quick. So I'm going to make a lot of dust doing this. And then we're going to take it from there. We got a number of choices we can go off of at that point. So let's go ahead. We take that. We can take you off. Take you off. I'm not sure how much of this is going to be done on camera versus off camera, but we can at least start on camera here and see if I can not have the shadow of that in the way. That'd be awesome. Yeah, let's get going. Okay, that was kind of the easy part. Now comes the trick. And I wonder, does the trick go easier with this? All right, we're back here, and I'm going to go ahead and assume that I'm cutting out or speeding through a lot of what I did to carve this down. But we still have more carving to go. I didn't go all the way around because I don't really need to worry about that today. The goal of this one is just to get these guys to be able to pop into here. So since that, I drill pressed 2 small holes on this guy. I can take my couple of these 1/8" dowels that I have. Come on, camera, be good to me. We can stick those in there. They're a very tight fit, but we can stick these in here. Boop. And then marked out a hole over here, hole over there. Can't drill press that one. It's got to go the old-fashioned way here. Use my drill. I'm going to go through and see if we get this right. Then this should just kind of slide in. You're going down a little further than I want you to. Do the same on this guy. That's the trick. The drill bit wants to find a grain, kind of a grain of wood it wants to go between. Okay, well, we're not going to go any deeper than that. Apparently I'm hitting the post in there. So that's as far as that goes. But as we can see, that's all we need. Now you're in. That goes in. And that's going to give this. So again, I can glue these guys in. I can make it nice and good, but at least now we have it so I can have something to work off of on this. And we do want to have that little bit of space around the side if we don't want that to be 100% tight up against everything. So this is good. This is good. This is kind of what we want. So we got that stage done. So I'm going to go disappear real quick because I try to figure out where I want to go from here, because I didn't actually plan out this episode beforehand too much. So give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. I'm bad. All right, so you know what? I figure if I've been kind of working on this drum area up here and kind of getting this thing all nice and good, both the last couple sessions and this one, I might as well just kind of continue that and more or less finish off this. I guess I know the details not on here, more or less kind of finish off that drum area. So if we come back to our thing here, we have, if you look on the bottom of the screen, we do have this kind of S-ish shape piece that gets kind of hooked onto the bottom there. If we go to our side view, we get a little more clear. Go ahead and make that piece down there. So what that winds up being is I have this nice piece of basically basswood, plywood type stuff, and it winds up being about 2 3/8 inches high. I go and pull you down. So I mean, this is a pretty massive piece compared to the end here, and about 3/4 inches wide. And let's go ahead and do this. I was going to draw this off camera, but I can just maybe do a little speed through on this. We can do things kind of on camera sometimes. So
All right, so you know what? Figure if I've been kind of working on this drum area up here and kind of getting this thing all nice and good, both the last couple sessions and this one, I might as well just kind of continue that and more or less finish off this. I guess I know the details not on here, more or less kind of finish off that drum area. So
So there we go. So we have our figure. We have what we want to do on that. And before I cut out all this stuff, I might as well go and carve this guy down. Now, I probably don't want to use this bit. That's probably a very, very bad bit to use. So let's go ahead and use our engraving bit again. This should be able to get at least most of the larger forms. And I want to do this before cutting it so it gives me a little more room to kind of hold onto this. And I will have to do this on both sides. So I'll do the first side uncut here. The second side I'll have to do. Now this is very much a bas-relief thing kind of going. That does give a little bit of form to that. And now we're going to go ahead and hope that this cuts out nicely. And there we go. We have the form that we need. And then let's actually hook you back up again so we look kind of correct. And it's going to wind up hooking on kind of down here. It looks very flat, but it winds up being kind of very flat in the end. But now I need to go do the other half, do the back half on this side, and go make one more of these. And I'll meet you back when this thing is entirely done. All right, and with that, we now have the two pieces here made. I've glued them onto this, and they are ready to go. And I had intended this to kind of be the end of the session here, and have everything together, bim bam boom, nice, it all looks good. However, I realized I've started editing stuff right now, and we wind up with another really, really short episode if I do that. So let's go ahead and add one more element to the mix. So this is now, the image on the side here is pointing towards kind of the front corner. If we go and move over to this guy here and slide it on over, you can see that kind of big spike thing that comes down the side. Well, really there are two of those. There's one on the side and there's one on the back. So let's go ahead and make that, because it's going to be done kind of the exact same way we just did these guys. Only I'm going to probably cut out a lot of stuff, because you just saw how we made those things. And a little more up close on that, you can see Pinello on the side there, but yeah, you can see that big old spike coming right down. Now, I think I'm going to make it a little bit shorter than it otherwise is on here, because if I make that actual life-size length, and we come back to this, my spike coming down, the model would have to start like way up here for the spike to come down as far as it goes. That thing goes down quite a ways below the base of this guy. And that's just gonna, more of this that sticks up makes it more wobbly and whatnot. And I'm just gonna make a little executive decision, and we're going to truncate it just a little bit, so it will still come down below the base of my base here, but not as far as it otherwise would. So the way this works is we take this layer here, the piece we just cut, and it kind of molds its way up into this. So I'm using the same plywood piece. I'm actually going to double this up so it's a little thicker. It's a bigger piece, so I'm going to make it thicker as well than that, even if it's rendered in the game as kind of the same thing. I think a bigger piece deserves to be a little thicker as well. So I'm going to make this, trace it, double it up, glue it together. We can add detail on that. And one of them goes kind of back here, and the other is not 100% in the back, but it's close to the back. It's kind of off-center a little bit. And I'm guessing symbolically that's because if you have an angelic figure, you want them to be nice and kind of symmetrical, as like your symbolism or whatnot of being kind of that angelic form. And being as she's a fallen angel, you then need to go and add at least something that's not symmetrical on here. So I guess this is kind of like the one element that's not a symmetrical thing on this entire form. So I'm going to take this, that comes down, and I'm going to do something like that. Now, I don't know if I'm going to be speeding through this or not. Again, I hope you like the music from Marissa and Alice's Trap Tower, because that seems to be the theme of the day. And frankly, there are only 4 songs in that entire game. Now, there are 2 versions of each song. One when it's a game where you kind of control 2 separate characters, Alice and Marissa. So when you control one, you get a version of that song that you've been hearing. If you control the other, you get another version of the song. But in general, there are only 4 songs in that game, and you've now had 3 of them. Go on. Hey, look at that. See, that's all we need to do. Bam. Oh, I'm good at my job. So who knows, maybe I'll put song number 1 on this playlist here, and if I can hear anything that I'm saying. All I know. That's it. That's all we need on that. Just need to make this guy now 3 more times. Once to double up this one over here, and then helps if I put this thing the right way. Once to kind of double up that one over there, and then the other 2 will go for the one that goes in the back. So I'm going to disappear real quick and come back. Those will be done and ready. All right, so I've gone ahead, made the 2 pieces, or made the 4 pieces, glued them together, and I went and I drill pressed the holes out of this and put the 16 gauge wire in here. And the reason I drill press that, if I take my drill here, there's no way I want to fit this in, because you can see, hopefully zooming far enough, this isn't much bigger than the 16th of an inch for the 16 gauge wire there. So the way I was able to drill press that is I gave myself a solid foundation. I got 2 flat blocks and then kind of held them together, and this helped keep this vertical, kept it from shaking back and forth, that I can drill straight down. So we're at the final stage now, where I'm just taking some of this wire and I am popping it in. Oop. So pop a little bit in there. We can now, I don't need very much sticking out, so I can go and just cut that off. Take the next part, go in hole number 2. Get it in. Again, we don't need very much sticking out. That's, actually I can even use less, because I'm not sure if I accidentally drilled this one a little too low to go in the base here. Now I've already drilled out the ones on the back. I've not drilled out this just so I can show something on camera. But I have marked where it goes. So that should be plenty right there. Yep, we wound up being just a teeny bit lower, right on the side there, but I'm not super concerned as long as these guys kind of line up. So close. Just if given a choice, I'd rather raise the top hole than lower the bottom hole. Okay, everything says that this should be fitting. Hey, there we go. So that's in. I'd already tested the back, so I know the back one works. And that is those two random pieces. They're not detailed out yet, but gotta save something for next session, or I'll do it in between sessions. But at least for this one, I want to finish with getting that in place. So now we can do our big reveal. Now that we're back here, let's put this all together and see how we did today. Helps if I put you on a right side up. Okay, so a little bit of tweaking on that, but that's got to be fine. But that's in there. I have you facing forward. Now, when I first put the drums in here, I realized they were too tight to the middle. There's not enough space to fit. Oh boy, I have so many tabs open on this thing. There wasn't enough room to kind of fit that medallion kind of between the two drums, so I redid some holes on the side so that there's a little bit of space for the next part that goes in. Okay, so that's up, that's up, that's up. Let's kind of hold all this stuff together. Let's get... You fit earlier. Well, I know it does fit. I'm going to be playing with that one a little bit. Okay, so let's move all those things up. And at least now we have a little bit more mass going on this than we did earlier. We're actually looking like something. Yeah, we still have to detail out literally everything on here, but this does give it much, much more mass. It feels a lot more correct. At least these things are holding themselves up now. I don't have to hold it on there. Let's actually turn these so they're facing the right way. Boop. Or we just lose the glue. That helps too. They might be a little fragile. That's easy enough to solve because they're also very light, so it doesn't take much to kind of hold these in once it goes. No, I'm gonna deal with that off camera. We're just gonna let it be what it is. But I still got the whole things up here. That's where we are now, and next time gets a little bit more exciting because next time we're gonna prepare to get a little nerdy. Next time, we have a little bit of science stuff we gotta do. We got a little playing out. We're gonna finish off this bottom area next time. That's my goal. So we're gonna be widening out this. We have that glazier ring to put in. We have those kind of swords on the side to do. We're gonna finish widening out this base before we go up any higher. So look forward to that. Should be fun. And until that point comes, and until that next time happens, enjoy.